What drama, and it means that Arsenal are now 2 victories away from winning the Premier League. Just confirmation that they are 5 clear of Manchester City, who do have a game in hand. Doesn't matter what City do. If Arsenal win out, they are champions. But inevitably, the big talking point was that goal that was disallowed at the death. Here's both managers.
A call from the refs that I think it's very brave, but very consistent with what they've been talking about all season. So when I have to be critical, I have been, and today I have to praise them at least for giving the option to a referee to decide away from the lights and the chaos, to give clarity to him to make the right call. And I think when you look at the action in that way, I think it is an obvious error, and it is a free kick, and the goal has to be disallowed. So congratulations, because they made a big call in very, very difficult circumstances.
It's been described on TV as arguably the biggest VAR decision in Premier League history, which is a fair shout, but also there's no doubt in your mind that it's a foul.
Yeah.
Those aren't. And then I guess a lot of people will be thinking, why does it kind of take so long?
Probably today I have realized how difficult and how big is the referee's job. Because you're talking about a moment that can decide the history, the course of 2 massive clubs that they are fighting with their lives to achieve their objectives. And the pressure is huge.
It was the right choice.
It was the right choice. Yeah.
Everybody's confused. Everybody's confused. So I think it's up to the referees to try and dictate what is a fault, what is allowed, what is not allowed. Because it seems like the rules have changed, and everybody feels confused and frustrated. The players don't understand it. It's the lack of consistency in the decisions. I think in this recent seasons, it's been happening a lot of blocking, grappling, holding, almost like a wrestling situation. That all of us don't understand what is a foul, what isn't a foul. I think even the referees confuse themselves, and it's upsetting. Due to the duality of criteria. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, and today is frustrating. They have to solve it. They have to come to the clubs and explain and show and try to explain why sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's a goal, sometimes it's not a goal, because everybody's feeling confused. And today we are upset and we are sad.
Frank Leboeuf joins us. Hey, my job's easy today.
Yeah,
Are they right?
Let me just, before we address everything, let me just address Mikel Arteta first and foremost. Let's just cut the crap with a manager who is, along with many others, one of the biggest hypocrites in modern day football. Because had that been an Arsenal player with the arm across the goalkeeper, which I think is a foul, had that been against him, he would have pointed out all the other fouls that were going on, apart from that one. I.e., he never talks about the holding from Declan Rice and what Trossard and others were doing. So had that been at the other end, and it was an Arsenal player with the arm across the goalkeeper, he would have pointed all the other fouls going on and why it was absolutely fine. But it's fallen in his lap today. And when it falls on his lap, he plays the Mr. Nice Guy. Refs are great. VAR's a difficult job. You've only just realised VAR's a difficult job. Yeah, because when it doesn't fall in your lap, VAR's wrong. So
Was it the right decision?
Well, here's the problem I've got. The arm across David Raya is a foul. But what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because Declan Rice has got a choke hold. You know when somebody's choking on a bit of food, and you got the Heimlich manoeuvre, and you try. Never had to do it, thankfully. But he's got. I think it's Mavropanos. He's got him like that, and there was other stuff going on. So what foul came first?
Right.
And that's where I think the issue that a lot of people here have. Some men think it wasn't a free kick with the arm across, but it was. It was. You know, whether you think Raya was weak or not, that's a foul. The issue is, and it's where English football is. This is a problem it's a problem for a lot of countries, but it's a problem for the Premier League. Because the Premier League, the richest league in the world, The football's been dire for the most part. It's been long throws, it's been set pieces, it's been bun fighting in the 6-yard box. It's been damn ugly. That's the Premier League, and that's a problem. So do you want to watch games like that? Do you want to watch this? And you know, it's ironic, it's Arsenal, who huff and puff and they cheat and they block and they do all this. But listen, if you get away with it, you get away with it. But the issue I have here, and I said this to you, I think there has to be a law change because this is becoming too much in too many countries. Having 8, 9, 10 people around the goalkeeper and the referee having to intervene, 90% of the time before a set piece is even taken is just dull and boring. And I think they're going to have to look at the laws about maybe even keeping players from encroaching into the 6-yard box until the ball is struck. And then you can go in and have a free-for-all. But we can't continually have this, surrounding of the goalkeeper because that's not modern-day football. And what we end up with is a scenario like this. This is a mess. This is a mess for Howard Webb at the PGMOL because there's going to be conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory about who fouled who first. And I can't answer that question because it was just a mess. What I can tell you, in isolation, in my opinion, the arm across David Raya was a foul. The rest of it, you go figure that out for yourself.
Frank?
Yeah, many things to say. I got upset when I saw that because yes, it's a foul for sure, and I'm with Craig with that. And yes, there is something behind all the scene when we see Declan Rice holding not only one player but 2 players, and that was a foul as well. And that's the first foul that I saw. And how many times, Arsenal use that kind of blocks on the goalkeeper, obstruction on the goalkeeper, and they got the goal allowed, where definitely in our time, it would have been a foul. In our time, it was very easy to cop. You were unable to touch the goalkeeper and be near him and block him. And that was a foul. So therefore, that was a foul on that case. But that was a foul. The 15 goals that Arsenal scored on set pieces. Look at Declan Rice. He's blocking everybody. He doesn't play the ball. He doesn't care. He carries on. So, yes, a foul on and Raya is blocked, and it should have been a foul. And it's only fair that the goal should be disallowed or has been disallowed. But really, I'm upset because there is no consistency whatsoever from the referees. We don't know. In the game, the Premier League became very soft, where you barely touch somebody in the face, the guy falls, it's a free kick and everything. And on corner kick, set pieces, you see, as Nuno Espirito Santo said, wrestling, blocking, obstruction, craziness. I mean, it's the opposite of what we see during the game. So they have to try to find a solution to make it clear, because that's everything but clear right now. And again, we saw Arsenal doing that every game, in every set pieces, and they scored 15 goals because of blockings. So I just want to understand, and they have to be clear to explain how it works.
The arm across any other player wouldn't have been an issue, because it wasn't an arm throw,
right.
And it wasn't an arm. If it had been across any other player, I don't think we're having this discussion. The fact it was the goalkeeper, and it's who wasn't off the ground, by the way. His feet were still on the ground, but because it was the goalkeeper, and we know, rightly or wrongly, there's almost like a different written rule for what's a foul on a player and what's a foul on a goalkeeper. That's why that was given. Arsenal were turgid again. They've won. Mm-hmm. PSG will be looking at that game thinking, we could beat these by 5 or 6. They were...
But to give credit to Arsenal, they did win. They got the result.
Well, they got but people sitting at home will say, well, they got the result because the referee gave them that result and it was wrong. This will rumble on. Mm-hmm. This will rumble on.
There's no asterisks when Arsenal lift the title in a couple of weeks.
No, I don't think so, because I tell you why. This in isolation is a horrible sort of decision to have to make, and it was a mess, and there was bodies all over the place, and there was holding, and there was an arm on the goalkeeper, and yeah, but in isolation it's a big decision, but there's probably been 100 to 200 of those.
Yeah.
Maybe
Arsenal
more.
won't win the league because of that decision. Arsenal win the league because they've been the best team over 38 games.
Yeah, the best team with the best results, not necessarily, but they've been dreadful to watch recently. and they've lost their way. And the manager got lucky because he made another bad decision when Ben White gets injured. He puts Declan Rice, their best midfielder, to right back, and he brings on Zubimendi, who's not been playing well. He then has to scrub a sub by making another sub at half-time to bring Mosquera on for Calafiore, and Chef Lewis Skelly to left back and put Rice back in the middle. Then he takes Zubimendi off, the sub is sub. So he got lucky today, Mikel Arteta. But sometimes you need a little bit of luck. And the other part of the luck was he was playing West Ham, who, they were fighting for their lives, but there's a reason they're down there. There's a reason they're still the favourites to be relegated, because they're just not very good. And Arsenal have scrapped that one out today. It's not over. It's not over. But this big decision that Chris Kavanagh made, and I heard people say, well, this is a big decision for VAR. No. VAR is only there to give a bit of advice. And I thought it was absolutely correct that VAR did its job and said, listen, this has to be an on-field decision. It's too big not to be an on-field decision. And so I think the pressure in some sense was off VAR by saying, look, this could be 50-50. We have to go to the on-field. Chris Kavanagh, you make a big call. And that's where that call fell. And there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with it because of everything else that was going on. But what we know is Arsenal have got another 3 points. They're in the box seat to win the Premier League title. But, boy, the end of this season, it's getting damn ugly.
Let's just remind you what the run-in is for both teams. Manchester City have that extra game. They take on Palace on Wednesday. And then the run-in sees Arsenal take on Burnley, of course, already down. Then Crystal Palace, who will just be days away from a Europa League final. If you're Arsenal, Frank, you could hardly really draw up a better 2 games, could you, to finish this season?
Well, the thing is, you should be comfortable if you're Arsenal and if you are confident about your game that you can go and win the title, because you deserve it. Overall, Arsenal deserve to win the title. What they've done during the season was better than the others. Even if, as Craig said, they were quite dreadful lately. But they've done the job, and they have 79 points, and they win big games, important games when they need to. And it's true that playing against Burley and Crystal Palace shouldn't be an issue, and they should win the Premier League, and rightly so. But we don't know with Arsenal. As we saw today, between West Ham and Arsenal, we could see the difference in the first half. But suddenly, when West Ham became a little bit physical, they matched with Arsenal, and Arsenal started to shake. And I agree with Craig. If Arteta makes the same mistakes next time somebody is injured and put Declan Rice out of the game, because it's what he did, put him out of the game for the first half, it can be surprised by, for example, Crystal Palace at the last game of the season. So it's not over, but overall, if I'm an Arsenal player, I feel confident. If I'm a Citizen player, I have doubts. I think I would think that it's already over.
Of course, this game not only has significance in the title race, but what's going on at the bottom of the table. We now know, without any question, it is a 2-horse race. Yep. Leeds are safe. Forest are safe. It is between Spurs and West Ham. Spurs currently sitting 1 point ahead of West Ham. Just a reminder, on Monday, it's Spurs against Leeds. And if they win that game, they're then 4 points clear of the Hammers with 2 games remaining.
And I think Spurs are a bit, and this is no guarantee they're going to stay up, but I think Spurs are a better side. I actually think West Ham are the third poorest side in the league. In terms of the way they play, in terms of the results, I think Spurs are better. I think Roberto De Zerbi's been able to have a short-term impact, an impact that Nuno Espirito Santo hasn't really been able to have over a much longer period. And if you're asking me to put $100 on it or whatever it is at the moment, I'm putting it on West Ham to go.
Right.
I'm putting it on Spurs to beat Leeds, who are safe, even though it's Ellen Road. And I'm putting it on West Ham maybe to not even win another game, maybe not even win another point. So West Ham to go.
Thoughts? Spurs are at home tomorrow. Just to
sorry.
That. So in theory, obviously against the Leeds side, going in with a little bit of confidence now, considering what happened today, Frank, it should be a good day for Spurs. But we've said that before.
Yes. I think they should get along very well and be safe quite easily. I don't see any surprises right now. I mean, West Ham, they tried hard, and the fans were there supporting them and trying to help them out. But I think it's over. It's over. I don't see Spurs, losing against Leeds and losing another game where I don't see West Ham winning anything else.